Okay, let's get started. Thank you for attending this afternoon. I'm Dr. Shad Diamond. I'm the founder of the Holistic Research Institute, and today's topic is quantum prosperity. We're going to show you how you can have more prosperity and financial abundance in your life. The information for this comes from a 9-year research project that I did a while back. And it was more so based on the quantum healing CDs and seeing how we could use that technology to shift people's consciousness around their financial income. So I had case study groups all over the country, and like I said, it took 9 years to sort of figure this whole thing out. But what we don't want to do is rely just on that technology, and so I developed this material to give you specific things that you can actually do to really goose things up and move it along more quickly for you, because the process takes a little bit of time, just so that you know. The CDs work very, very well, and if you don't know about them, just very briefly, it's a technology, a hyperdimensional technology. I'm the developer of it. And when you listen to them, it sounds like nature sounds and music, but there's a hyperdimensional technology that is embedded into it that sets up these therapeutic healing fields around you when you listen to them. And it chips away at the negativity in your consciousness, especially in the subconscious. So it repatterns you for a new, better life. And several CDs have been developed for specifically prosperity and abundance. So that's actually a part of this. The material that we're talking about in, I don't know, the next hour or so is also very powerful. In fact, it might be so good you may not even need to use the CDs. It's probably more likely that you will want to use some of them though, because it's the subconscious that sort of gets in the way a lot of times, and we'll explain a little bit about that. But in this presentation, it helps a little bit to understand why things are not working, and so we're going to touch on that first, but then we're going to get into some very specific things that you can do to bring more wealth into your existence. But why quantum healing? Well, it's because we're taking into account quantum balance. In other words, it's not just about manifestation. We are taking into consideration the masculine and feminine balance of consciousness. We are taking into consideration the yin and yang principles of energy. We're taking into consideration the left and right balancing of the hemispheres of the brain. We're taking into consideration the quantum wholeness of the universe. And it's from these positions that we are creating prosperity in your life. But we're going to keep it simple enough to make it doable for everybody. The only thing that might throw you off a little bit, because I say this quite often, just remember this is as complicated as it gets. Everything is energy, everything is consciousness, everything vibrates. So you don't have to really understand the physics of that too much, but you do need to know that everything that happens in life is based on vibration, and that means everything. So we'll be talking quite a bit about consciousness and shifting consciousness. That's the secret. So, but that's as complicated as we're going to get. If you came to this presentation, I'm thinking it might be for only one of two reasons. One, because you were curious about what's the weird guy going to talk about. The guy that does that freaky energy stuff. What's he going to be talking about? So that might be a reason. But the other reason is that there's something going on in your life that you're not satisfied about financially. And so you wanted to shift that. Well, this 9-year research project is a proven method that can do that for you to help you break through those prosperity issues that you might be having. I'm going to show you how to do, in other words, all the tricks that you can actually do, but you're the one who has to apply them. So in combination with those healing CDs, this is killer course. It absolutely works. You may not even need the CDs because the material that I'm going to present here in the next hour or so might be enough to pull you through. So it's up to you. But here's the thing that you need to know. This method takes time. It works in a very gradual and easy way. In other words, it's very gentle, and it works gradually. It does work, but it takes some time. And so you'll need to have a little bit of patience and just keep applying the principles. And if you want to make it go faster, you definitely want to use the quantum CDs that we recommend. But here's the thing. It may take you 4 or 5 years to add another zero to your income. Of course, if you're only making $10 because you're only 9 years old, that may not be the case. But I said maybe 5 or 6 years. The thing is, this is like a logarithmic trajectory after you get going because things become so stabilized that it may only be an additional 3 years to add the next zero. And of course, I mean, it's not all about money. As long as you have enough to be happy, that's all that really probably matters. But there's one thing probably that you should understand, and that is that it's never about a job. In other words, the amount of money that you take in is not necessarily related to a job that you do. The amount of money that you take in is about your consciousness. In other words, it's your consciousness that determines the amount of money you have in your life. So I've used the word consciousness a lot. What is that? Well, let's keep it simple. It's a combination of what you think, what you feel, what you are paying attention to consciously, and whatever is hidden in your subconscious. In other words, there are buried beliefs that are hidden in the subconscious. That's why they call it the subconscious. And so it's the collective of all of these parts that I'm referring to when I use the word consciousness. And we need to work on all of those parts in order to turn things around for you. So consciousness is everything. It causes energy to vibrate in very specific ways. And that's what causes your life to unfold the way that it does. In other words, your consciousness creates the reality that you experience. If you want your life to be different, you have to change the consciousness. And here's a way you can do it. Just remember that you have to be active in the process, in your own healing process. You need to be engaged and do the things that are suggested. If you do it, it works. So, it's your vibrational patterns that we're going to be working on changing. But once they change, you also have to hold them in position long enough that it grounds into your beingness. So in other words, change the vibration, hold it in that position long enough, physicality catches up to it and aligns itself with it. That's what grounds it into your beingness. It's then that it becomes a permanent shift in you, forever. So if you're not experiencing prosperity, it's really only because you're not properly vibrationally aligned. And that's what we're going to show you how to do.